Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to get started with basic inheritance, or inheritance basic. Yes. Inheritance is an interesting topic that makes many students cross-eyed, basically across the world when they first working at it. But the cool thing with inheritance is it's really straightforward once you get the hang of it. And of course, as we get into it, we'll take a look at more advanced inheritance in a later video because you can't get a little complicated. So what is it? It's basically taking bits of another class and using them in another class. Cool, let's demonstrate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create myself an aircraft class because of reasons. And I'm going to keep it super simple here. We're going to do some very basic items here. We'll do a name. I'll keep it as simple as that. And I'll do we'll do description. I like description. Description's pretty good. So let's go ahead and keep it simple. I'll do self.name equals name, self.description. Description equals, let's see here, description. Keep it nice and easy. So that's a pretty basic airplane class. So if we want to utilize it, we can come down here. We could say Cessna 172. Let's make a really Python variable. Cessna 172 equals aircraft. We're going to come in here and I've got Cessna 172. And of course, description, a useful utility plane that goes skirt on landing. Fantastic. So let's expand on this a little bit too. Let's add a method. Let's see here. What kind of method could we do? We'll just do like a really boring one. Describe. I like that. We'll set ourselves to it. Keep it kind of simple here. Let's see here. Do we want to return this as a string, or do we want to print? We're gonna return it. We'll do it the right way today. F quote the aircraft is a self.name and is self.description. Nice. I like that. That's a pretty straightforward. The world's most basic aircraft class here. So I'm going to come down here and I'll go test it just to make sure it works. Print Cessna 172.describe. Describe. Because I should have been a little more careful there. So now if I go ahead and run this, you get a lovely little thing here. This is the aircraft is a Cessna 72 and is a useful utility plane that goes skirt on landing. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's nice. Now, let's say that we wanted to make a helicopter. Now, helicopters have a lot of different bits and bobs on them, and we definitely would want to be able to sort of take what we've already done here and just kind of use that as a basis of helicopter. I mean, even this method down here, it's not a bad method. We could probably hang on to that when we build our helicopter class. So let's go ahead and design that. So I'm going to go ahead and type in class, and I'm going to design it as a rotorcraft. Now, I'm going to do something very scandalous here. I'm going to use this class, my aircraft class, as the parent class and take all the good stuff out of here and use it as a foundation for my rotorcraft class. Pretty slick, huh? So what I'm going to do is grab myself, actually, whoa. I have to put this one in here, plane. Oh, aircraft, I think I called that an airplane. Nice. So what I've done here is I've taken and created a new class, and I'm using aircraft and all the bits and bobs contained within it as the basis for this class. So now I'm going to go ahead and type in .init, and let's see, we're going to say, whoa, helps if you do that correctly, doesn't it? Let's see here, we'll come in here and type in self, and we're going to add some new bits to it, because why not? Let's see here, name is going to be our name, description is going to be our description. We're going to go ahead and get, do rotor count, let's do max speed, keep it nice and kind of simple like that. So let's go ahead and run through and get all of our bits here. So the first thing I want to do is I want to steal all these cool things out of this other class and pop them in here. So to access the super class, I'm going to type in super. And super is simply saying, hey, grab these bits, please. Now in that super class, there's a couple things I want to steal. I want to actually basically create a copy or basically an instance of this class inside of this class here. So what I'm going to do is come in here like this. I'm simply going to keep it nice and simple. I'm going to go ahead simple.init. Now what you'll notice here is that it's recognizing all of the different properties that I had in this first class, and it is now ready to accept them, which is exactly what we want to do here. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it nice and simple here. So we need the aircraft. We've already kind of passed the aircraft itself. So all we're going to do is pass the name, which is going to be, again, whatever helicopter we choose here. And of course, a description. We'll create it. Actually, just description. What am I talking about? So what we have here is we basically initialized this with this on top of it. Again, if you want to think about this another way, is we've created ourselves an aircraft object, and we've actually taken the things from the initiation of our rotorcraft object and shoved them in here. But of course, since we're adding functionality, let's keep going. So I'm going to go get myself a self. I'll do self rotor count. We're going to do 2 equals 2, and I'll do max self.max speed. Speed. Why are we even doing that? That makes no sense. Rotor count. That looks better. And self.max speed. Again, we're just keeping it simple today, is max speed. Ha 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 ha. Fantastic. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to go ahead and grab and create ourselves a rotorcraft. Obviously a Robinson R22 and I'm going to go ahead and call this not as an aircraft this time, but as a rotorcraft. Now inside of this, all I have to do is initialize the usual things. So Robinson R22. This one's going to be a rotor count. It's going to be up description. A useful helicopter that goes... Actually, I'm going to be professional here. Enter, because we're allowed to do this. Rotor count, it's 2 rotors, and of course, it's max speed. And a good day, maybe 110. That looks pretty good to me. Fantastic. So what we have here is we have our little new helicopter, a rotorcraft object. We've called it Robinson R22, and we've gone ahead and popped all these different values into it. So now it is ready to rock. Now, this is where things get kind of fun. You're sitting here going, so can I just do print Robinson R22 dot description? Is that going to blow up? Is it going to melt? Is it going to give me issues? The answer is no, not at all. It's a useful helicopter with kind of a thing like that, and you can see that it works perfectly fine. Now you're sitting here going, wait a minute. Okay, so I get it. So basically, you grabbed all the properties out of this guy and you used that as a basis to basically, go ahead and kind of initialize a couple values here, and then you put your other fancy values on there. I mean, you can come in here and do a max speed, for example, and go ahead and run that. It should say 110. That looks pretty good. But what about that method that you created, that fancy describe one that you said? This is where things get interesting. And this is one of the things I like about superclasses and inheritance. So let me say I want to do Robinson R22. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and summon that describe function that I had from before. So let's go ahead and run this. Now what you'll see here is my describe function is the exact same one from aircraft, except that it fed in my new values that are ready to go. You're sitting here going, oh, that's actually pretty darn useful. The aircraft is Robinson R. It's a useful helicopter goes swah swah. Fantastic. That's neat. I've got a problem though. And my problem is the fact that I like this, but there's other bits to the helicopter description. What do I do? How do I do my new ones? I want to do the new ones. Well, this is where it gets kind of cool. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to go ahead and define, have a little bit of fun here. And we're going to do describe. Now you're immediately sitting here going, wait, you can't do that. Not allowed, not allowed. You've already done describe. Describe's in the parent. Guess what we're doing? We're overriding the original version with our own fresh, delightful copy here. Now, there's a couple different things we need to get here, though. And one thing that you have to remember is I need to kind of get these bits that are inside of my superclass. I need one thing you're probably sitting here is going, well, can't you just run up here like this and Control-C, and then you can come down here and go ahead and paste that one like that. And then you could do one of these. It has self dot, what do we say, number rotors. I think we said rotor count, right? Yeah, rotor count. Rotor count. Rotors, comma, enter. Let's be professionals here. Boop. As if I'm ever a professional. Rotors. Let's see, as a self.count rotors, and has a max speed of, what do we say? Self.max speed, kind of a thing like that. Cool. Let's go ahead and put a period right there like that. Let's go ahead and give that sucker a quick little run here. And what you'll see here that it doesn't have any issues. You can see it actually prints it out quite nicely. And the nice thing here is you can see it's all pretty neatly formed. We got that name from the main one. We got ourselves this comment tone, our little description here. And of course, we've added our new little bits and bobs to the end. But one of the coolest things that we can do with superclasses is we can steal stuff out of the superclass to make our life a little bit easier. Watch this. So let me grab this little F string here. I actually like this F string. It's pretty nice. Oh, helps if you F string it correctly. Let's take the information that we fed in. Remember how we did this bit here where we got the name description off of our main class, our superclass? Let's just use this method and then add its result onto our results. Yeah, we can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and type in super dot describe plus. Ha ha. Whoa, helps if you do that correctly. That's much better. So what we have done is we've said, go back to the superclass, do this thing, then add it to all these little bits and bobs that you've done right here. So now if I run my code here, you will see that we grabbed this handy dandy part of the method, which remember returns a string from our aircraft class, and we grabbed this little bit of it. It helps if you put a little space there. I should be a little more professional here. And there we go, make it look a little nicer. There we go. And we grabbed this component and basically overwrote the original version. So you can see that I basically reused the stuff out of the superclass and then made my own version of it. And you can see there's a really, really good effective way both ways to do that, depending on the particular situation that you're going to be using. So as you can see, inheritance is not nearly as scary as people think it out to be. The best way I always think of inheritance is think about it as a way to either add or change it, but using something else as a base. Now, where inheritance starts to get interesting is when you start trying to inherit for more than one class at a time. But we'll get to that next time. Enjoy.